Okay. Good morning, everybody. And today I'm going to take up the third chapter. And in that chapter, I'm going to talk about how to make predictions. And the other point that I'll be taking up today is one exercise on deducing. Like I'll give you a paragraph where you will have to after reading the paragraph, you have to deduce the meaning of certain difficult words, and also you have to pick out the words from the paragraph which means the opposite of those words. All right, so these exercises plus if the time permits, as the Amreen ma'am has told me to take one more class with you, and that will be back to back class because you don't have any other class afterwards, so maybe I'll take two lectures today. So if the time permits, I'll be able to take subject, verb, and object exercises also with you, plus with some root words exercises. All right. So let me begin now with my lecture and let me start sharing my PPTs. Somebody, I think, wants to enter the meeting. Okay. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to share the file. Here it is. The file is, the topic for today is making predictions. All right. So whenever we have to make predictions, we have to be sure that we understand the gist of the paragraph. Whatever is there, we have to understand the intent of the paragraph, the gist of the paragraph. Only then we can make the prediction, and only then it is possible for us to uh, know what is going to happen. That is called deducing or making predictions. Okay, so I think I've stopped the sharing part. 1 second. Yeah, here we go. All right, again somebody I think wants to enter. I'm not allowing now because once I've started my lecture it is not easy. Okay, so here is one paragraph. Because in my last lectures we did talk about sensitizing and deducing, if you remember. 1 second, let me change the let me just plug in the Wacom tablet so that I can write for you all. So we did talk about deducing that day. All right. So here is one exercise that I'm giving you. We have to read these paragraphs. There, this is a passage. After that, I'll be asking you few questions, and you all will have to participate in that. All right. So read the passage and perform the indicated task. For you, I am going to read this paragraph because there are certain words which will have different pronunciations, and I'm going to help you with that. All right. Here we go. In early summer, the female, a sort of a pretty duck, goes and builds her nest among the rocks of the fjords. So now you may say, what is this FJORDS? How are you going to pronounce it? It is fjord. Okay. She builds her nest among the rocks of the fjords with which the coast is fringed. Okay, that means the coast is like this. All right. After building this nest, she lines it up with the fine feathers, which she plucks from her belly. Then the hunter, or rather the trader, arrives and takes the nest, and the female starts her work all over again. This goes on as long as she has any down left. Now, what is the meaning of down basically? It means feather. Okay. When she has stripped herself bare, that means no more feathers are there on her belly, the male turns his turn to pluck himself. All right. But as his feathers are hard and coarse and have no commercial value, the hunter does not bother to take his nest. The female accordingly lays her eggs, the young hatch out, and the next year the harvesting of the eider down begins again. So basically, the first paragraph tells you about the ducks, what they do during the breeding season. Now, as the eider goes, what is eider? Now, you must have got the idea after reading the whole paragraph, paragraph, that eider is basically a type of a sea duck. All right. Does not pick stiff cliffs on which to build her nest, but rather those smooth terraced rocks which slope into the sea. The Iceland hunter can pursue his occupation without undue exertion. He is a farmer who has no need to sow or cut his harvest, but simply has to gather it in. Okay. Now, this grave, phlegmatic, silent individual was called Hans Bilke. So here, when this J letter comes, we don't have to pronounce this. Like Dominic D. Uh, Jovonic. So Jovonic में D you don't have to pronounce. So these are all North European spellings where there are certain words that you have to just ignore. Here also J has to be ignored. So it is Belke. And he came recommended by Mr. Fredrickson. Fredrickson. Okay. Where is this? Fredrickson. He was to be our guide. His way formed a great contrast with my uncle's, but they got on very well together. Neither of them worried about terms. The one was ready to accept what he was offered, the other to offer what he was asked. Never was a bargain more easily concluded. Under this agreement, Hans, okay, undertook to guide us to the village of Stapi, onto the south shore of Sneffels Peninsula. Now, you must be aware what is a peninsula. It's a piece of land which is surrounded by three sides by a sea at the very foot of the volcano. Okay, the distance by land was about 22 miles, which my uncle reckoned and we couldn't cover in 2 days. But when he discovered that the Danish mile was 8,000 yards long, he was obliged to revise his calculation and allow 7 or 8 days for the journey. Now, this excerpt is taken from Jules Verne, Journey of the Center of the Earth. Okay. More specifically, all these types of paragraphs, they are taken from international magazines or international standard, because once you are in India, you will not be going to vernacular type of excerpts which are from Maharashtra board or anything else. You will have to delve into deeper and get inside, and you at first you will have difficulty. You may not know all the meanings, you may not know all the pronunciation as well, but with practice, you will know what you can ignore. You can deduce the meaning because you read the paragraph 2-3 times. Just move your eyes through the paragraph. This was what I did, was reading each and every word. Okay, but with practice you may not need to read each and every word also, because next is the question that I'm going to ask. The question that I'm going to ask you is from the paragraph only. That means it is basically an intensive type of reading where comprehension is judged. Okay, where I will be judging you on your understanding of the comprehension. Now, question number 1 that I'm going to ask you is, which are the words in the paragraph that means number 1, 2. Number 1 is a narrow inlet. of sea between cliffs. Okay, you have to tell me. Now, number 2 is which word in the paragraph means, okay, which word in the paragraph means fine feather? Fine feathers. Start answering in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and also, okay, tell me the answer in case you have understood. Okay, now question number 3 will be which word in the paragraph means pads up? Number 4, which one word in the paragraph means collection? And number 5 is which word in the paragraph means rough? Okay, so these are 5 questions that I have taken from this paragraph. You have to tell me the answer, and I'm giving you 1 or 2 minutes. If you have already found question number 3, for example, or 5.
Means first answer elder and second down.
No, first answer is
Either.
no, either is not the first answer. Either is basically it's a sea duck. It's a breed of a sea duck. Okay, you this is I've already written here. You see, either is a sea duck. This though I've already given you. You see here, it means a sea duck. Okay. Second answer I have already given here. Down. That means very fine feathers. They are called down. So what is the first here? A narrow inlet of sea between cliffs. Cliffs क्या होता है? Do you know that? A very steep mountain. जिसका जो ऐसे करके नहीं जाता है. It is very steep. Like it goes like this. Okay. So very steep mountain के बीच में जो sea होता है ना, very narrow inlet of sea. यहाँ पे पानी है, sea है. So what is that called? What is pads up? So all these are very important questions from, I'm not going to ask you the same question during the exam, but something which you have never done before, it is going to be unseen comprehension. Because I don't want you to know the meaning in advance. I want you to deduce the meaning. By reading the paragraph, you should understand which word would mean what. All right? And that is why I'm going to give you unseen paragraph which you cannot, which you have not read it before. Here your deducing power will come into play. Your capacity to deduce the meaning has to get sharpened, and that is why I'm giving you this paragraph. Come on. I'm waiting for 5 answers now from your side. Please. Come on, don't sit silent. Even if you give wrong answer, doesn't matter. We are brainstorming, na? It's important.
Terrace rock, ma'am.
Pardon, beta.
Terrace rock. Terrace rock.
In which paragraph is it?
Second, ma'am. Second paragraph, second line.
Terraced. Okay. Terraced rocks means, 1 second. Where's my pen? Here. Terraced rock means something like this. Okay. Which keeps on, which has got some flat portion here, again then flat portion here, and then again flat. This is called terraced rock. Okay. But they are smooth. Okay. लाइक अ सीढ़ी होती है ना जैसे चढ़ने की, दैट इज कॉल्ड टेरेस्ड रॉक्स. ओके. Should I start calling names and then you will try to give me answers? Yeah. Yes, come on. How many students in the class? You're not able to give me only, you have just given me one answer. And that too was given by me. I've written it there. Feather means down. Fine feather means down. See, all the theory part I've already taught. Now you are going to get these types of practicals from me. There will be a lot of exercises on grammar and other things coming up in my coming lectures. So it has to be an interactive class. Otherwise, there is no point. If I keep on giving you answer, you will not come to know how it is. Because and this is also like judging your English grammar, what you have learned till so far. All right. Start sharpening your X. Yes, come on, come on, come on, come on. Hello. I'm really surprised. You don't have to take so much time for this exercise. Here we are only finding synonyms. This is a synonym exercise, bacha.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question or you can write in the chat box, please?
These are 5 questions I've written here. These are the five. Uh, you have to find 5 words, which means this: a narrow inlet of the sea between cliffs. Which word in the whole paragraph passage means the same? Okay, then fine feathers is given already. Then which word means pads up? Okay, then which word means collection? Then which word in the paragraph means rough?
Ma'am, recount means collection.
Okay, so you got one word, very nice. Find more, I'm very happy. But I have not given you any word like calculation. Did I? It is collection, not calculation, beta.
Yes, ma'am. Collection
So
is what I
collection,
said.
and I thought you are telling me the meaning for reckon as calculation.
No, ma'am. I said for collection.
नो कलेक्शन के लिए तो फिर वो रॉन्ग हो गया. If I would have given you calculation, then the answer would have been correct. Okay, I can give you one more word because you had given me nice word. Okay, number 6 is, I can write here number 6, but let me change the ink color because otherwise it is not visible. Okay, number 6 is calculation. It looks like the same, and that is why I got confused. Collection, there is another word, but for calculation, this is correct. Okay? Which my uncle
Yes, ma'am.
reckoned. Okay? Yes, yes, somebody was saying something. Pardon?
I said okay, ma'am.
Okay, okay, fine, fine.
Yeah.
Okay, now, because you are taking a lot of time for this exercise, can you take a screenshot of this? All of you? Take a screenshot of it.
Yeah, ma'am. Taken.
Huh? And also I have written the questions. So that means these are the questions that you will be doing, but they don't take a lot of time. I thought you will be doing it very fast. So I gave you this exercise here. But if you are doing it leisure, make sure that you don't take more than 2-3 minutes for such exercise. That means if you are taking 15 to 20 minutes to understand a paragraph, you can understand very well how much practice you need, isn't it? So you have to reach a stage where, but just by looking at the paragraph, you can understand which word, a narrow inlet of sea between the cliff, which word means. And I just gave you a hint also when I was reading the paragraph. I gave you the hint while I was reading it. The answer for this is fjord. And I gave you the pronunciation also, if you remember this word. So fjord, the J is silent here. The correct spelling is F-J-O-R-D-S. A narrow inlet of sea between the cliff is called fjords. Though J is there, but we will not pronounce that J. We are going to call it fjords. Okay. The third answer, pads up, means here it is. What is basically pads up? Have you seen cricket match? What are the pads when they do it? They try to make cover their knees with the pads na on. So she lines it. That means basically she's trying to pad it up. So answer will be, यहाँ पे क्या लिखेंगे? Lines it. Line. Okay. Now collection. Now which word do you think is collection? Collection. Even I'm not able to find this word because when I was trying to find out, I was also stuck here. Now rough. There is a word here. But the male's feathers are hard and coarse. So this word coarse means rough. So you can imagine that you will all have to do lot of practice so that ये जो छोटी सी exercise है, it should not take more than 2 minutes. So आज के बाद ऐसी exercises आप ढूंढना शुरू करो. You will get plenty of exercises. You can go to a bookstall or you can even search on the internet where you have to read a paragraph and find out the meaning. you have to deduce the meaning rather than taking the dictionary in your hand. But after spending time on that, and in case you are not able to understand the meaning, then later on you will use the dictionary. First you will have to apply your own deducing power. All right. Similar exercise on the same paragraph is where I'm going to ask, I'm going to erase all the ink marks from here. And then this was a synonym exercise. That means you were to find the same meaning. That means you were to find the same meaning of the words. Now, if I have to give you antonym exercise, antonyms means opposite meaning. Okay. So I'm giving you again 5 words here, and let that be a homework for you, because otherwise if I'm going to spend a lot of time, it will become very difficult. And this is a self-help exercises. I can only give you one example, but rest of the things you will have to do on your own. Okay. So now here is a list of 5 words for which you will have to find out the opposite. Okay. 3, 4, and 5. So these are the 5 words I'm giving you. First word is over. Here you will be finding the antonyms. You are well aware what is antonyms. That means opposites. Okay. Earlier we were finding the meanings. Now we are finding the antonyms. The first word that you will find is over. The second word that you will be finding the opposite of is descent. Third is lost. And the fourth one is maintain. Okay. And the fifth one is prohibit. Okay. Now, this is your homework. Take a screenshot and you have to find these 5 antonyms from the paragraph. The antonyms of these words are there in the paragraph and you have to find them. All right. Have you all taken the screenshot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can I move ahead? Am I allowed to move ahead? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after this exercise, I want to share one more thing with you, and that is about the sentence construction. Okay, making prediction is one more exercise where the earlier exercise that we did was deducing. Now this is an exercise where you have to predict what is going to happen next. Okay, so these are the 2 paragraphs that I'm giving you. Read the following passage, determine what event is likely to occur next. Explain your answer using the textual evidences. So here there is a sequence of events that is happening in the paragraph, and according to that, you have to predict. So I'm going to read these 2 paragraphs, and what you also have to tell me what are the evidences from the text that support your answer. All right. So these are 2 exercises. Please take a screenshot because I really want you to work on it. Okay. Because once you go through these exercises, your readings, fluency will be much, much better than before. So Vince Thunder waved to the crowd one more time before he put on his motorcycle helmet. The crowd cheered uproariously. Vince looked down the ramp and across the 17 school buses that he was about to attempt to jump. It was a difficult trick, and everything would need to go right from him to nail it. His cape blew in the wind. As Vince hopped on his motorcycle and started down the ramp, he noticed something that he had not seen before. There was a large oil slick at the end of the ramp. He attempted to stop the bike, but it was too late. He had already built up too much momentum. So now this whole imagery had gone in your mind. What had happened? All right. So what event is most likely to occur next? After this, what would have happened? I want you to write 2 or 3 words, 2 or 3 lines, or in case you want to write and elaborate it, it's up to you. But you have to predict what happened next. If you want to attempt it right now, I'll be very happy to see your creativity. Anybody wants to attempt this question? You understood the paragraph? See, if you have understood the paragraph, only then you will be able to predict. But if you are stuck somewhere with the meanings and all, then you will not be able to. That is why I say, when you get a paragraph, you have to, even if you don't know the meaning of certain words, you have to skip and understand the gist of the paragraph. Okay? That is why I continued reading without stopping at difficult words and telling you the meaning, because once you start reading the paragraph, you get the understanding of the passage. Some things may not be understood. All of the things may not have the answers, but still we continue on in our life journey also. So is the case with the passages. All right. Please be creative. One of you can unmute and tell me the answer. What would have happened next? Because he saw oil slick at the end of the ramp. He was about to jump 17 school buses. That means there was a lot of crowd over there who was watching him. He was well prepared for the event, but something happened at the last moment and he saw large oil slick. That means somebody must have done a mischievous act. Maybe somebody conspired. But right now, we are not going into that, who conspired or something, but we have to predict what would have happened. It's so easy. Come on. I'm surprised. अगर आपको हिंदी में बोलना है तो भी बोलो, बट एटलीस्ट मुझे बताओ क्या होगा उसके बाद, इसके इस सिचुएशन के बाद क्या हुआ. There's pin drop silence in the class, huh? How am I going to take it forward? Because there's going to be a lot of exercises like this afterwards. Be prepared, children. Be prepared. This is not going to work, I'm telling you. Oh my God. If you are going to take so much time, I had a lot of exercises. Should I show you how many exercises I had for you people? So many exercises. कोई तो बोलो आंसर। ये तो बहुत छोटा सा पैसेज मैंने आपको दिया है। In your exam, you may be given 4 or 5 paragraphs and then you will be asked to predict. ये तो कितना easy exercise है. And I have taken it from internet. It's a 10th grade exercise. Anyways, I'm not going to waste my time over it. Please do it. You will have to do on your own. I'm not going to help you at all, because this is all about creativity. Write your answer here. Here also, what event is going to happen next, okay? And what evidence from the text support your prediction. Here is the next paragraph, okay? But I'm not very happy with you kids, huh? I'm not happy. You all have to come forward. कोई बात नहीं, गलत होगा तो I'm not going to sue you for that. I'll be very happy to find mistakes. I'll be very happy to make you understand. But अगर आप ऐसे बोलोगे नहीं तो it is of no use. Because then मैं क्या करेक्ट करूंगी आपके, अगर कुछ गलती होगी तो I won't be able to tell you. I won't be able to sharpen your skills. Anyways, second paragraph is, Rex sat at the mouth of the alley and chewed the bone that he had found by the dumpster. It was meaty bone that had belonged to a larger animal, perhaps a state fair prize-winning pig. Rex was attracted to the bone by its strong scent. Apparently, he was not the only one who could smell it. He heard the jangle of tags behind him and turned to see a larger dog. Rex released the bone and began growling at the other dog. The other dog began growling at Rex. The two dogs inched towards one another, maintaining eye contact. Each began growling louder as the other approached within striking distance. So same exercise आपको करना है. This is about two dogs who one of them got the bone. The other one was apparently more stronger than the previous one. And then they were having a fight. Okay, so what event is most likely to occur next? And what are the evidences that you get in support of your prediction from the text? All right, so all of you, please take a screenshot of this exercise and please post it. Please post it. I'm going to, best thing is that I'm going to put this exercise on in the assignment notes, Google Meet पे. All right, I'm going to do this only today. This will be exercise for you. All right, now moving ahead. I'm actually not feeling like teaching you even more for one more minute, because I'm not getting any interaction from your side. It's as if I'm talking to walls or the computer screen and nobody is there in the meeting. I'm getting that feeling. Okay. Now, here is one more exercise. Read the following headlines from the Hindustan Times of April 6, 2008, and select the sentence that anticipate the content of that item most appropriately. Now, the headline is, Even Betting Giant Wants Slice of India Pie. This is the headline. Okay, even the betting giant wants slice of India pie. So these are the 5 descriptions. So these are the 3 descriptions given here. So among these 3, there is one which is, India has made a gigantic pie. Do you think this is correct? A giant wants to eat an Indian pie, or a betting firm wants to set shop in India. So which one do you think is the correct option? Come on. This is easier exercise than the previous one. Don't you think so?
Miss B.
No, beta. Even the betting giant, यहाँ पे जो betting giants are is referred to the either betting firms or some big corporates. Okay, big companies. C is the correct answer here. Okay, betting giant. Giant is basically referred to the big companies or corporates. Okay, so a betting firm wants to set shop in India. ठीक है, आई एम वेरी हैप्पी समबडी एटलीस्ट अटेम्प्टेड. तो मुझे खुशी होती है, भले गलत हो कोई बात नहीं, इट्स ओके. Question number 2, that headline, corporate prefers no frills fight. No frills fights. So what does that mean? Airline wants to operate low cost flights. Company bosses want to travel by low cost airlines. Or firms want to save money by encouraging employee to travel by low cost airlines. So which one do you think is the correct option here?
C.
Corporate prefers no frill flights.
B.
No, it is corporates.
A, ma'am, A.
नहीं. A is like airline wants to operate low cost flights. No, it is not about the airline. It is about the corporate. So A तो बिल्कुल ही गलत हो जाएगा, क्योंकि it is saying कि airline का इसमें कुछ लेना देना ही नहीं है. यहाँ पे corporates का लेना देना है, but corporates में only bosses नहीं आते. That means it will include everyone. So the answer is again C. Firm wants to save money by encouraging employees to travel by low cost airlines. ठीक है? So again the answer here is no frills means not extra. अभी देखो, basically when you have to go from one place to another place, you have to basically go by a flight, all the employees. But if you are going by economy class and then business class, economy class वाला भी तो वहां पे ही पहुंचेगा, business class वाला पहुंचेगा but ज्यादा पैसा खर्च करके पहुंचेगा, because he will get some extra, he'll be paying extra to get extra benefits, like having more tea or snacks in the aircraft. So उसकी जरूरत क्या है? जब भी आपका 2 घंटे का फ्लाइट है, तो 2 घंटे में तो you have to reach at B. So they basically wants to have low frills. So here the keywords are, यहाँ पे giant था, slice of Indian pie मतलब, that means all the businesses that they want to have from setting up shops. So ये आपको समझने की कोशिश करनी है कि जो headline होती है उसमें they have something else to it. Cubica takes pole position. Now, pole position, what does that mean? That means Cubica stands like a pole. Cubica takes a position at either of the geographic pole. अभी जैसे ये अर्थ है, ओके, ये हो गया नॉर्थ पोल और ये हो गया साउथ पोल. डज दैट मीन फिगरेटिवली हमको उसको लेना है क्या? नहीं, दैट मीन्स हमको इसको फिगरेटिवली नहीं लेना है. और क्यूबिका स्टैंड लाइक अ पोल भी गलत हो गया. अगेन, क्यूबिका टेक्स अ प्रोमिनेंट पोजीशन इन फॉर्मूला 1 रेस. Pole position means prominent position. So again here the third answer is correct. So अगर आप ये ऐसी headline पढ़ रहे हो, तो are you getting what they are trying to say? आप अगर उसका literal meaning समझोगे तो ये बोलोगे कि अरे Cubica takes the position at the geographical pole. या तो North Pole पे खड़े हो गए या फिर South Pole पे खड़े हो गए, है ना? But we don't have to take the literal meaning. We have to understand, and that understanding will come only when you will read a lot. And with my previous exercise, I was able to judge you that you are all not reading a lot. That is why you got stuck there. You were not able to give any answers to the question. So I'm telling you, still you have time. Continue. Start with your reading process, because today is the time. That day also I said, today is the time. If you take care of today, Tomorrow will take care of itself. Don't waste today. All right, start reading a lot. Now question number 4 is big B under friendly fire. What does that friendly fire means? Does that mean big B performs a stunt with the fire? No. Big B is showered with sparkles? No. Big B is criticized in a friendly way? I think yes. Big B is criticized by friends? No. So that means Big B under friendly fire means Big B is criticized in a very friendly way. So these are the headlines. Sometimes newspaper, they come up with very catchy headlines. Okay. Catchy headlines में हमेशा you have to understand the internal अंदर का मतलब क्या है. What is he trying to say? And that is an art. To make a headline is also an art. As a media person, you will be getting into that also. And whether it is in English, whether it is in Hindi or Marathi, you have to come up with catchy phrases to make headlines. क्योंकि हम जब headlines पढ़ते हैं ना, that creates a curiosity in us to read the whole piece of news. That is how they do it. That is how they attract you to reading that news. अभी आप पढ़ोगे Big B under friendly fire. Definitely you are going to dig into that news piece because you want to know what happened to Big B. Isn't it? So this is important exercise to understand the headlines and how they come up with catchy headlines. Media people, how they come up with the catchy headlines. And catchy headlines, they attract the readers, and catchy headlines also sharpen your vocabulary. It also gives you a twist with the news, in the news. All right. So with this, I'm going to end my first lecture. Okay. No, I still have 6 minutes to go for my first lecture. So I'll continue here. And what is basically a sentence construction? Where's my pen? So sentence construction basically means a sentence always has a, one second. A sentence is always composed of a subject and a predicate. Okay. Now predicate always starts with a verb. Predicate also means what is said about the subject. What is said about the subject. Okay. Now, what is subject? Subject is the main doer of the sentence. जिसके ऊपर पूरा फोकस डालना है. Who is the main person of the sentence? Okay. Now, subject, predicate. Predicate always has, that means it starts with a verb. That means it has verb. Plus it may have an object also. Okay. So that means a sentence is consisted of subject and a predicate. Subject is always there, as you know, जिसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, and verb is there in a predicate. Verb and object, they are part of predicate. ठीक है? So this model is called SVO model. Okay. Now some subjects sentences may have one subject and one verb. That means it is a simple sentence. Okay. So when the sentences are simple, हम लोग छोटे जब भी थे, in first, second, third or fourth standard till primary, तो हम लोग simple sentences पढ़ के बड़े हुए हैं. But as we move forward, we start using compound sentences and complex sentences. So as a media person, you don't have to rely more on simple sentences. You have to more to deal with complex and compound sentences. That means two simple sentences can be joined to make a compound sentence with a coordinating conjunction. All right? Or two or more simple sentences can be made together or joined together with the help of either noun clause or adverb clause or adjective clause to make a complex sentence. Okay? So these are the grammatical rule that I'm going to teach you. But एक बात बोलूं, to understand the gist of a paragraph, to understand everything, you don't have to deal all these things. इतना सब कुछ सिर खपाने की जरूरत नहीं है. If you start reading, ये सब आप skip कर सकते हो. These are all grammatical rule which though it helps you, but you can skip these things altogether only with one process, and that is called lot of reading. You understand what I'm trying to say? The only keyword that I keep on saying every meeting is that you have to read a lot. See, while reading any discourse, if one comes across a sentence that one finds it very difficult to understand, because the structure of the sentence is very complex, at that point of time you can break the sentence, but in a natural flow you will halt your reading if you have to break the sentence, and then your speed will become slow. But if you continue reading a lot every day, at least 30 minutes reading, so by reading only you will try to get the gist of the passage. And to get the gist of passage, you don't need to read each and every sentence in it, and you don't have to understand each and every sentence in it. Okay? So words and sentences, they are treated as independent unit of meaning and are likely to cause more confusion than to facilitate the understanding. इतना सब कुछ करने का आपको जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा अगर आप रीडिंग के ऊपर जोर देना आज से शुरू कर दोगे तो. सो देयर इज अ कंडीशन क्या है? इफ यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग, अदरवाइज नो, अदरवाइज यू विल नॉट गेट. अभी तब भी आप लोग उस पे अटक गए थे, उस पैराग्राफ पे. यू वर नॉट एबल टू इवन फाइंड द मीनिंग्स. वोकैबुलरी में भी अटक गए थे, एंड आप उसमें मेकिंग प्रेडिक्शन एक्सरसाइज पे भी अगेन यू गॉट स्टक. So what is the keyword? What is my advice to you is to read a lot and stop reading simple texts. Start reading complex texts and try to understand it. सब समझ में आएगा. It is only a matter of conditioning, how you condition your brain. If you condition your brain for mediocre things, you will remain mediocre. If you start conditioning yourself for superior things, you will achieve greater heights. And I'm telling you, that is possible. That is possible. Everything under the sun is possible. Don't limit yourself. Don't at all limit yourself कि नहीं हो पाएगा. With practice, everything is possible. आपने बहुत सारी बुक्स में बहुत सारे लोगों की इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरीज पढ़ी होंगी, है ना? इवन 12th grade में भी एक इंस्पिरेशनल स्टोरी थी about a man who had come from vernacular medium and how he was able to, he was being made fun of his English by his peer group and all his, classmates. But then he continued doing his hard work. And then he reached a greater height than others. It is all about how much fire you have in your belly that will take you towards your reaching your goal. All right. So with this note, I am the sentence construction part I'm going to take up again. Um I'll just take a 5-minute break, and you all don't quit the meeting at all. Okay? Because again, it becomes very difficult for everybody to enter the meeting and then going. It becomes very difficult, and I don't want to lose the trail of my lecture. So nobody will leave the meeting, but I'm giving a 5 minutes break to you also and me also, because I had been continuously talking. I'll have a cup of soup, and you also can have anything, but don't leave the meeting. So the next class will be at 5. It's already 11:52 now. So at 12 o'clock, I'll give you 8 minutes break. Just refresh yourself, and I'll continue with my lectures on sentence construction. And there are again exercises on subject and verb agreement. All right. And you will enjoy that exercise. I'm sure that you will like it. So see you after a break. Nobody will leave the meeting, huh? Because if anybody leaves, I'm going to report it to the HOD, because she has told me to take attendance for the second lecture also. And if anybody leaves and comes again, I'm not going to allow that to happen. You know it, because it becomes very difficult. Somebody left the meeting. I will not allow that girl, Jasmine Chawla. Welcome back to the meeting, and I'm starting my lectures again. It's already 12 o'clock, so I gave you 8 minutes break. Now the lecture will end at 12:50. Okay, so now here I'm going to talk about the sentence construction again. Okay, I was on this window earlier, and I was talking about what is a sentence construction. So I was telling you that, while reading any piece or any piece of writing, if you come across any sentence that you are finding it very difficult to understand because it is very complex, you don't have to, get bogged down by it. You have to just continue reading, and you have to separate the gist of the passage, and not to feel threatened by not understanding each and every sentence in the paragraph. So words and sentences in the paragraph, they, if you are going to treat them very individually, so you will not be able to get the gist of the paragraph. You have to just understand the paragraph as a whole. In case there is one sentence that you are not able to understand, skip and move to the next. Okay, maybe by in the flow of the paragraph you will be able to understand what actually it meant. Okay, so you basically, the bottom line is not to get stuck anywhere while reading. And just 1 second, let me close the door. There's some noise coming from outside. 1 second, huh? Yes, so to facilitate the understanding, you will keep on reading the text without stopping anywhere. Okay, so sentence must be understood with the flow of the passage and not independently. So this you have to understand. Even if you have to leave one sentence or second sentence as well, doesn't matter. It hardly matters if you have understood what is the whole intent of the passage, right? Okay, so a working understanding of the sentence is facilitated by this subject, predicate, and verb exercise. So, to grasp the full meaning, to understand. But इसमें क्या है, आपका time बहुत waste हो जाएगा. Where is my pen? Okay, 1 second. Let me just plug in the Wacom tablet so that I can write. So, if you have to really understand what it is, this is exercise which we used to do when we were in secondary grades, right? Subject, verb, and predicate exercises, they are helpful in understanding the sentence. But once you are into rapid reading, then all of these things will not be helpful, because they will they will slow you down. They will slow you down. But still, if you have got a lot of time, even now, if you really want to improve your English, so definitely you have to go into the sentence construction, because it is not only about rapid reading. Sometimes you have to write also as a media person. So as a writer, nobody will like your simple sentences. Okay, then you will have to go for compound and complex sentences, because otherwise simple sentences कौन बोलता है, बच्चे बोलते हैं. I went there, I ate this. So these are very small sentences. To get into writing mode, if you want to become a writer, if you want to become an editor, so you have to understand what is a complex sentences. And complex sentences के लिए you have to understand noun clauses, adverb clauses, adjective clauses. And to understand compound sentences, you have to understand all these. Sorry, here it is. You have to understand the coordinating conjunctions. So here in complex sentences, you will be using subordinating conjunctions. Okay. Okay. Now here I'm going to give you something very interesting. Some exercises. You know why I'm giving you? Basically to understand the relationship between subject, verb and object. It is called SVO. Okay. Why I'm giving you? Because it helps you in grasping the gist and moving on while reading the difficult text. Okay. Here is the exercise now. Subject and verb agreement exercise. First of all, most of the students of English who have come from vernacular medium, they find it difficult to get this exercise right. That means subject verb agreement. Subject and verb agreement. इसके लिए पहले मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं, जो सब्जेक्ट है अगर वो सिंगुलर है देन the verb also has to be singular, but the singular verb always ends with a S. For example, if I say Ram, now verb hai play in the garden. So now Ram is singular, so play also has to be singular. So when play has to be singular, so singular play verb will always have S. So we will add here S. So we'll always say Ram plays in the garden, not Ram play in the garden. बट अगर यहाँ पे राम की जगह प्लूरल वर्ब ले लेती हूं मैं, ऑलराइट, सो वर्ब विल आल्सो बी प्लूरल, बट प्लूरल में एस विल नॉट बी एडेड. दैट मीन्स इफ आई से राम एंड श्याम, then that means we'll not be writing this S. So play in the garden. Play in the garden. Are you getting my point? This is called subject and verb ka agreement. Singular verb subject will have singular verb, plural subject will have plural verb. Singular verb always has S in it, plural verb does not have S in it. All right? This is something which is very, very basic, and I teach these things to primary kids. Primary kids in the sense 3rd, 4th and 5th grade. So this is just a revision for you. All right. Now choose the correct form of the verb. Again, I want all of you to come up with your answers, because, okay, now what I can do is I am going to, one second, I'm going to be in the meeting so that I can, one by one, I am going to call your name and ask you. How can I, keep 2 windows at a time? Because if I do this, okay. I will have to skip, I have to jump from one window to the other window to make you understand that. Anyways, let me see if I can do this. I'm doing it for the first time. Okay. Oh my God, not able to do it. So anyways, I'm going to share the window again. Anyways, if you know the answer, please tell me the answer. Okay. Now, first question is Annie and her brother at school. So you have to choose which verb is going to fit here. Annie and her brothers. Pardon? I think somebody gave the answer and I was not able to hear. Come again.
Ma'am,
No.
R at school.
Yes, R. So Annie and her brothers. Why did I choose R here? The
Because
reason
there
is
is a brothers. Plural.
because the second word is brothers. Very good. So that means we are going to write the answer is R. Okay. So this is the correct option. Next question is either my mother or my father coming to the meeting. So which verb will come here?
R.
No, beta.
Is I.
Here is will come. You know, I will give you the answers also. Why is will come? When you use either, that means only one of them will be coming. That means my mother is coming to the meeting or my father is coming to the meeting. Okay, so you'll break. When you have either, then you have only one person coming. अगर यहाँ पे होता both, either की जगह होता both my mother and father, then हमारा आता are. You got it? Now moving on to the third question. The dog or the cats? The dogs or the cats dash outside.
Is outside.
Are out. Are miss.
This is
Because
correct.
there are cats. That's why.
Because there's so many cats and also the dog. There are so many cats. That is the bottom line. अगर यहाँ होता the dog and the cat, अगर एक ही होता then is outside. But then there are many cats. It's on the same line as number 1. Annie and her brothers. See, there were many brothers, no? So that is why we chose this answer. All right. So we'll move on to the question number 4. Either my shoes or your coat. Always on the floor. Tell me.
Is always on the
Because there is a no plural verbs.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. The answer is. Okay. Moving on to the next one. George and Tamara dash want to see that movie. Which one do you think is going to be correct? Is this or this? Which one?
Doesn't.
No. I'll tell you why. Doesn't always come with a singular a subject. Like she doesn't like this. She doesn't go anywhere. Or whenever I say they, so they don't. That means plural के साथ हमेशा don't आएगा, singular के साथ हमेशा does आएगा. So now here we are 2 people. George is also there and Tamara is also there. So what is going to be the correct option? Don't. अगर होता Tamara, only Tamara. So Tamara does not want to see that movie. और but एक और चीज याद रखना, जब भी आपका I सब्जेक्ट होता है तो I doesn't कभी नहीं आएगा. I के साथ हमेशा don't आएगा. I don't want to see that movie. ठीक है? अगर यहाँ पे she हो जाता तो doesn't हो जाता, they हो गया तो भी, और इसके साथ साथ we also. यहाँ where is my pen nib? 1 second. अगर यहाँ पे we होता तो भी we के साथ भी doesn't नहीं आता, we don't आता. ठीक है? ये याद रखना. Whenever we are having the first person pronoun, we are going to use don't. Please remember this. तो यहाँ पे George and Tamara don't want to see that movie. Now moving on to the 6th question. What happened? Benito. Now the question is Benito. Tell me. Just now I told you. Benito.
Doesn't. Come doesn't.
Very good. Very nice. Very nice. So you have understood this concept. Now we have more exercises. One of my sisters going on a trip to France.
Miss R. One of my sisters are going to a trip.
No.
Easy.
कितनी सिस्टर जा रही हैं?
1.
Only one. So out of many, only one. So answer will be is. आपकी सारी sisters तो नहीं जा रही है ना? How many sisters are going? Though there are many sisters, That means you have got many sisters, but out of them, how many of them are going? Only one.
Only one.
So one of my sisters is going on a trip to France. All right. Question number 7. The man with all the birds. The man with all the birds
Ma'am leaves.
lives on my street. Why? Because birds तो होता है सब्जेक्ट नहीं.
Because ma'am बहुत सारी bird.
नहीं, सब्जेक्ट यहाँ पे है मैन. बर्ड्स नहीं है सब्जेक्ट. ये विद ऑल द बर्ड्स तो एडिंग टू द सब्जेक्ट है ना. तो मैन सिंगुलर है. आई सेड हमेशा सिंगुलर नाउन के साथ सब्जेक्ट कौन सा आता है जिसमें एस लगा होता है ना. सिंगुलर वर्ब ऑलवेज हैज अ एस. यस और नो. मैंने अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बताया आपको. सिंगुलर वर्ब विल ऑलवेज एंड इन अ एस. सो द मैन लिव्स ऑन माई स्ट्रीट, ये तो सिर्फ एक्सटेंशन है उसका सब्जेक्ट का. ठीक है. एक्चुअली अगर ये होता द मैन लिव्स ऑन माई स्ट्रीट होता ना, कि लिव ऑन माई स्ट्रीट होता. इधर बर्ड्स का कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. इट इज जस्ट एन एडजेक्टिव टू द मैन. कि कौन सा मैन? द मैन विद ऑल द बर्ड्स. सो आंसर इज लिव्स. आई जस्ट सेड व्हेनेवर सिंगुलर नाउन इज देयर, सिंगुलर नाउन के साथ हमेशा सिंगुलर वर्ब लगता है. और सिंगुलर वर्ब का मतलब होता है देयर इज ऑलवेज एस एडेड टू इट इन द एंड. तो इस वाले में तो है नहीं, इसमें है ना, एस इज एडेड हियर. यू गॉट माई पॉइंट. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रूल. प्लीज रिमेंबर. इसमें सब बच्चे गलती करते हैं. ठीक है. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द 9th क्वेश्चन. द मूवी including all the previews take or takes about 2 hours to watch.
Ma'am, it takes.
Very good. Very good. So the answer is takes because it is only about the movie, which is only singular. That means it is only one noun, singular noun. This is added to the subject, including all the previews. So we are not going to talk. The subject is basically the movie. So answer is takes about 2 hours to watch. Let's go to the next question. Yes. The players as well as the captain.
Ma'am wants.
No means want because there is a plural.
And also the captain. That means both. So answer will be want. The players as well as the captain. That means there are the noun subject is plural here in this case. So plural noun will always take a plural verb which will not have s. Let's move on to the next question. Either answer acceptable.
Is acceptable.
Very good. Because we are only talking about one. That means either may, there are many options, but one is correct. So either answer is acceptable. Question number 12. Every one of those books, fiction.
R.
No.
R.
No. Here, दो हम लोग बहुत सारी बुक की भी बात कर रहे हैं, but right now every one of those books. That means we're still talking about one book at a time. So when every one of those books, that means there are many books here, but when we are talking about it, we are taking only one entity at the time, at that point of time. So every one of those books is a fiction. ये थोड़ा सा आपके लिए कंफ्यूजिंग था बिकॉज यहाँ पे भी बुक्स था और यहाँ पे भी एवरी लिखा हुआ था. बट यू डोंट हैव टू गेट डिटर्ड बाय दीज टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चन. दे आर जस्ट टू कंफ्यूज यू. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि सब्जेक्ट में कितना है. व्हेन दे आर टॉकिंग, वी आर टॉकिंग ओनली अबाउट वन ओनली. ठीक है. सो एवरी वन ऑफ दोज बुक्स इज फिक्शन. Next question. We'll move on to the next one. Nobody. Nobody dash
Nose.
the trouble I've seen. Which is the correct option?
Nose.
Nose.
Yes, very good. Everybody knows the trouble I have seen. Let's move on to the next question. The news on at 5 or 6. Is the news on at 5 or 6? Are the news on 5 at 6? बताओ कौन सा आएगा correct?
Is the news
R.
Very good. ठीक है, news is one piece always. So here the subject is news. तो क्योंकि this is interrogative sentence, so interrogative sentence में the verb comes before the subject. ठीक है, interrogation always has that. Always remember. So verb will always come before the subject to ask a question. So you must be aware of different types of sentences, no? So interrogative, assertive, exclamatory, and there is one more type of sentence that is imperative. So here, when I'm talking about imperative sentence, in that sentences sometimes, नहीं, most of the time, sometimes मैं लिख रही हूँ, but most of the times subject is missing. इस केस में subject होगा ही नहीं. And what are the imperative sentence? Let me change the ink so that you will get the idea. Imperative sentences are, they are either orders or they are advice or they are request. Okay. So when we have these things, we don't use the subject. We say, shut up. Okay. We say, go there. Or agar if it is a request, we say, please sit down. Please sit down. So यहाँ पे subject कहाँ पे है? और अगर ये है request में advice में sometime you will find subject. You should eat fresh food. For example, this is an advice. So here, when I'm talking about different types of sentences, shut up, go there is an order. Request is please sit down. And advice may you should. So here you can find the subject is there. That means subject is you. But in cases may you is missing. You is not written. So here, when sometimes subject is missing, it is often you. जिसको हम लोग कभी कभी एस्टेरिक्स में डाल रही हूँ to tell you कि this is missing. So you have to, whenever you find these types of sentence, either order है, advice है या request है, उसमें you have to understand कि it is there, but हम लोग उसको बोल नहीं रहे हैं. Go and get the basket. So मैं किसी को तो बोल रही हूँ ना, किसको बोल रही हूँ? You को. You go and get that basket. You do these exercises. तो जरूरी नहीं है कि मैं हमेशा उसको बोलूं. Sometimes I can ignore it also because it is understood कि मैं किसी को तो बोल रही हूँ and that subject is you. All right. So this is imperative sentence. Why I, यहाँ पे जैसे interrogation आया, so I felt the need कि मैं आपको ये भी बताऊं. Because later on you may have some exercises where you will say, "Arey, there is no subject here." So don't get disheartened because subject is hidden and that hidden subject is you. Okay, so moving ahead now, I'm going to clear all these annotations. One second, so that you can read the sentence very nicely, properly. Mathematics, John's favorite subject, while civics, Andrea's favorite subject.
first is
Is.
Okay,
favorite
very nice. While civics,
it's also is
Very good. So even though they have S here, but that doesn't mean that they are plural. They are still singular. Okay. This is just to confuse ki, so somebody will say कि अरे S लगा हुआ है तो they are plural, but they are still singular. So when singular, तो is this the correct answer? Very good. Let's move on to the next question. $8, the price of a movie these days. $8, the price of the movie these days. Is or are?
Is, ma'am.
Yes.
$8 is the price of a movie these days.
Very good. Answer is right. But tell me why? Because this is plural, na? Dollars. The answer is correct. You are right. But you have to not justify why this $8 is considered as a singular subject.
Because one movie price.
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Ma'am, is a singular movie price.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
I think by mistake I left the meeting or something happened. Was I out of meeting for some time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
I did not even know because I was still talking and I said nobody is answering. So anyways, can you see the screen again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the next question is your pants at the cleaners. So which one do you think is right?
R.
Your pants are at the cleaner, because I said these words always take the plurals verb. Okay.
Ma'am, our lecture will be a start within a few minutes.
Which lecture?
Current affair.
Current affairs.
What time? What time will it start?
12:30.
12:30, ma'am.
12:30. Na? I'm going to give you one more exercise, and you take a screenshot of this and do it on your own. Okay. Okay. So this is the last exercise. Take a screenshot. Have you all taken the screenshot?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'll just stop my lecture because this was the end. As it is, there was one more exercise that I wanted to do, but anyways, because you all have current affairs lectures to be started, so I'm going to end the meeting now. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you so much for going through these exercises. And I think in my first lecture also there was some at one point of time I was not there in the meeting because I was not able to hear anybody answering that time. Was it true, or is it like you were not able to get the answer, that's why you are not answering when I was giving you prediction exercises and deducing exercises? Have you taken the screenshot of those exercises or not?
Yes, taken, ma'am.
Yeah, please do it and submit it, please. It's very important, and I request all of you to start reading as much as you can do. It is going to benefit you, because by going through today's exercise you must have understood where you stand. That means how much practice you need. Even now, you took around 15 minutes. I stood there for one in exercise and you were not able to answer, but I want you to answer it very fast. With practice, you will be able to do that in 2 minutes, 3 minutes at the most. Okay. So with this, I'll end this today's lecture because you have current affairs lectures to be there. Okay. Have a good day. Bye-bye. Bye.